So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 3 very interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the 3 stories I wanted to cover in this video includes a new survey interestingly pointing towards multiple currently rumored PlayStation 5 titles like Bloodborne Remastered, Silent Hill PlayStation 5, and the Metal Gear Solid remake for the PlayStation 5. Beyond that, we have PSVR 2 tech specs that could be even better than we thought with unleaked tech specs according to one source, but we also got leaked tech specs this morning that also reveals launch details as well, and I'll go over all of that great information. And there could also possibly be another major update set to bring with it VRR, aka variable refresh rate, and I have 1440p in the title because I know I'm going to be asked about it, and no, there's no mention of it yet, but I'll talk about how we could possibly still push for it in this video. First, let me know if you had to choose one. Would you want 1440p support or VRR? I know there will be some of you out there that say, why not both? But for this, try to choose one. So comment below if you had to choose VRR or 1440p support for the PlayStation 5. Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the first story of the video, Bloodborne, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear Solid. So the story here is pretty simple. Sony sends out surveys often from my understanding, but only sometimes do we see interesting questions in the survey that could possibly hint for things to come. Recently, a supposed PlayStation survey has been making the rounds, and multiple people on Twitter have screenshotted some interesting questions mentioning games that we've been hearing a lot of rumors about. So the survey asks the same question multiple times, replacing only the games/genre. The question is, how interested are you in playing each of the following types of video games on your console? One image here states survivor/horror like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Amnesia. Another image has the same question but again mentions action RPG like The Witcher, Dragon Age, Bloodborne. So again here it changes just the genre or the video games. And another screenshot here, it mentions action adventure like The Legend of Zelda, Metal Gear Solid, Monster Hunter. The options across all of these questions were not at all interested, not that interested, somewhat interested, and very interested. So you guys for sure know, if you've been following the channel or kept up with the news, that Bloodborne Remastered for the PlayStation 5 and PC has been rumored multiple times now. Multiple Silent Hill titles are rumored to be in the works, with one exclusive to PlayStation 5, and the Metal Gear Solid remake has been in the rumor mill since it sparked last year. My only question here is, why ask all of these questions now if these games are supposedly already in the works? Maybe to gauge potential sales numbers, I assume. We'll see if anything comes of these, especially with the Abandoned app being seemingly connected to both Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill at this point. Now diving into the second story of the video, the PlayStation VR 2 is possibly even better than we expected with unleaked specs, along with recently leaked specs and launch date information. So this part of the video is actually 2 stories, but they both relate to PlayStation VR 2, so we're lumping them into one. The first part of this is related to a recent seemingly throwaway comment made by Digital Foundry that points to PlayStation VR 2 having even better specs that have yet to leak. This comment comes from Richard Leadbetter over on Digital Foundry, and he said this on their recent Digital Foundry Direct. One thing I think that is kind of heartening is that Sony is doing PlayStation VR 2 for the PlayStation 5. We've seen some leaked specs and it looks good. We've seen some other specs which haven't been leaked which make it look even better. So this was an interesting comment because it seems to me that Richard possibly has spoken to some PSVR developers or VR developers in general, especially considering the timing of this Digital Foundry Direct video, which dropped on August 2nd, and how close it was to the rumored PlayStation VR 2 Developer Summit that we talked about last month. The rumor was that Sony was getting ready for a PlayStation VR 2 Summit that would happen on August 3rd, and invites for it were sent out last month according to YouTube channel PSVR Without Parole. We didn't know what would be at this event, but that there would be one to discuss the future of PlayStation VR with VR developers. Today, YouTube channel PSVR Without Parole has come out with information supposedly leaked from this closed PlayStation VR 2 summit. Here are the details. The show is apparently 90 minutes long. The headset is not being called PlayStation VR 2 right now, it's being called NGVR, which stands for Next Gen VR, similar to how PS Vita was called NGP or Next Gen Portable before its official reveal. The lenses are Fresnel OLED screens coming at 2000 by 2040, giving it full 4K HDR. The field of view will be 110 degrees, which according to the channel is 10 degrees more than PlayStation VR 1 and 20 more than the Quest 2 and a bit more than the Valve Index. The headset will also support FSR, which isn't AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution, but rather flexible scaling resolution, which concentrates the rendering on the player's area of focus. This sounds like foveated rendering to me, which for those who don't know, sharpens the asset quality or the image of where you're looking at using eye tracking. The process would then make the surrounding world less sharp, allowing less resources to be used. It's all about efficiently giving the player the highest quality image while maintaining performance, because in the end, all that matters is where you're looking at. This FSR sounds like foveated rendering based on its description, but the channel states that it's not, but both will be used together on PlayStation VR 2. Haptics will also be present in the headset to help reduce nausea and immerse players. The PlayStation VR 2 controllers don't have a name yet, but will be packed with every PlayStation VR 2, which is nice compared to PlayStation VR 1, which had packages that made you get the controller separately. The controllers will also have adaptive triggers, which is official information, and capacitive touch. The official word on the touch detection is that it's called finger touch detection, and it can detect your fingers without needing to press down on any buttons. According to PSVR Without Parole, the controller supports capacitive touch, which isn't just on or off, as in if you touch the button, your finger changes to on the button in the game, and then when you take it off, it takes it off in the game, but rather that it can sense how far your fingers are from the buttons and renders that. This next piece of news might excite a lot of people, or this next rumor. Sony is focusing on AAA titles on PlayStation VR 2 via hybrid games. These are games that can be played either normally with the controller, so the DualSense, or via VR using PlayStation VR 2. In terms of downloads, for each game you're allowed to download only the item that you want, so the PlayStation VR 2 version or the normal version of the game. You won't need to download the whole thing to play either or. This part is very interesting because we've heard rumors that studios like Naughty Dog are working on titles that support PlayStation VR 2, which sounds like this hybrid approach of play in VR or on flat screen. I'm very excited to see first-party studios from Sony release AAA exclusives on PlayStation VR 2, and this brings me back to Sony London Studio. They are the creators of Blood and Truth for PlayStation VR. We've heard they're creating a AAA title, which I assumed would be Blood and Truth 2, considering how successful the first was, but with this hybrid approach, they could very well make a getaway title with PlayStation VR 2 support. I don't know if they'd call it the getaway or just go with Blood and Truth 2, but this time make it an open world GTA style title in London. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now, there is no word on backwards compatibility for PlayStation VR 2 with PlayStation VR 1, but according to the channel, there's a big push for PlayStation VR remastered titles on PlayStation VR 2. This is exciting because this brings these titles to that 4K resolution, possibly with support for haptics and triggers and the new controllers, all of that great stuff. And finally, the launch. I've guessed for a while now that PlayStation VR 2 will launch in 2022, and according to the channel, Sony will discuss launch details in early 2022, which I can't wait for. But you guys let me know if these details have made you excited for PlayStation VR 2 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, the next major update with VRR and what could be done about 1440p support. Let's get to the VRR story here first. Reading from Tech and Club, Sony is planning to introduce the long-awaited VRR update not only for the PlayStation 5 in December, but for all compatible TVs that will then also receive the upgrade. The president of Value Electronics is now explaining why the whole thing is taking so long to come in an interview with Robert Zahn, founder of Value Electronics, who goes apparently deeper into the matter. Some changes to the CEC protocol, Consumer Electronics Control, are coming up, including the CEC Link, ARC, and eARC. Their specifications are updated within HDMI, which Sony would like to wait and see before finally implementing VRR, etc. I spoke a little bit on the side about the long-awaited upgrade to variable refresh rate on the X900H and X90 and X95 and all the other 2021 TVs, most recent Sony TV models with HDMI 2.1, and that's still on target for December this year, said Zahn. What they are waiting for is HDMI is going to be updating some of their specs on CEC. The CEC Link is going to be changing, and so is ARC, Audio Return Channel, and eARC, Enhanced Audio Return Channel. There will be some protocol changes in the way that HDMI is configuring that, and Sony engineers want to wait and see. They have one firmware update for that. So the basic gist is that Sony is waiting for changes in the Consumer Electronics Control, and based on those changes implement VRR support, and apparently this update is coming in December. That's what I'm getting here. I'm hopeful here, but I want everyone to remember a while back we spoke about a community manager from Samsung who said an update for the PlayStation 5 would come in March that would support 4K 120 on Samsung TVs. That update didn't come until April. So with this, I'll say it could come out in December or possibly later. Again, here there's always that possibility. Now, in terms of 1440p support, the last word we heard on this was from Sony themselves, which essentially boils down to Sony and how they want to focus on supporting TVs, so 4K displays, and they'll watch the market to see interest for 1440p on PlayStation 5. They make it clear that the PlayStation 5 can support 1440p and that it's not a hardware limitation, which was weird to hear because at that point, why not just implement 1440p? Regardless, if Sony wants to watch the people, make 1440p trending on Twitter today or tomorrow or whenever you're on Twitter. If you're going there to tweet whatever, something about cats or politics or your favorite game, add 1440p to that tweet, even if it doesn't relate, to show your support for that feature so we can maybe get it trending on Twitter. I don't know if that'll actually happen. I'm just giving a suggestion out there to make some noise on the topic. I know here Sony means watching the market in that who games on monitors or TVs using the PlayStation 5. Still, why not have the option for it regardless? But you guys let me know if you even use Twitter or not. Let me know down in the comments below, and if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "Bring on the features." Obviously, this is in relation to the VRR update, and why not offer 1440p support as well? So if you want Sony to offer 1440p and you're excited for a VRR on PlayStation 5, destroy the comment section with "Bring on the features," and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.